Psychology says, sometimes the people closest to you don't tell you they want you. They show it in quiet, confusing ways that speak louder than words ever could. It doesn't start with a confession. It starts with little shifts that are easy to miss. A laugh that lingers a little longer. A message sent for no real reason. A question that feels deeper than it should. At first, you don't notice. You just think they enjoy your company. You laugh together, share inside jokes, talk until late at night. They know how to make you feel comfortable. Almost too comfortable. They see sides of you no one else does. It feels pure, honest, safe. You call it friendship. But slowly, something underneath begins to change. It's not dramatic. It's not obvious. It's subtle, like static in the air. A silence that feels charged, a glance that lasts longer than it should. Their smile softens when they look at you. Their body leans in when you talk. You catch yourself thinking about them more than before, wondering what they meant when they said something, replaying moments in your head that shouldn't matter, but somehow do. The way they said your name, the way their hand brushed yours, the way your heart reacted without your permission, and soon every moment with them feels layered. The laughter isn't just laughter. The silence isn't just silence. It feels like there's something unspoken living between you, something neither of you dares to name. That's because desire rarely arrives with words. It moves quietly, through tone, timing, and touch. It hides in the small things, a gaze that stays too long, a question that feels personal, a heartbeat you both pretend not to notice. You can try to ignore it. You can tell yourself it's just your imagination. But once you sense it, you can't unsee it. You start to feel that invisible thread between you tightening, the pull that says, this is more than friendship. The truth is, people don't always say what they feel. Their actions do it for them. Their body, their tone, their presence. They all start to tell a story that their words are afraid to finish. And that's where it begins. That quiet moment when you realize they don't just like you, they want you, even if neither of you has the courage to say it out loud. So pay attention to the details, because the signs are always there, small, silent, and powerful enough to change everything once you finally see them. They start remembering small things you forgot. They start remembering small things you forgot. And it's not just kindness, it's connection, real, emotional connection, the kind that hides behind casual words and quiet actions. They remember your favorite snack, the song that helps you fall asleep, the random story you shared once at 2 a.m. that even you barely remember telling. Then one day, they mention it, word for word, perfectly, softly, like it mattered. That's not coincidence, that's focus. Psychology calls it selective attention. When someone's mind filters out the noise of the world and locks onto the person they care about most. It's the brain's way of saying, this person matters. Don't forget them. Most friends listen, smile, and move on. But when someone secretly wants you, they don't just listen, they study. They collect tiny pieces of you like puzzle fragments, your laugh, your habits, the words you repeat when you're tired, the way you look at the floor when you're thinking. To them, every detail is sacred. Every little thing about you becomes a small way to feel connected without ever saying it out loud. They'll remember what you ordered the last time you went out. They'll notice when you change your hair, even slightly. They'll bring up things you didn't even realize they noticed, like how your mood changes with the weather, or how your voice softens when you talk about something you love. And you might think, that's just them being thoughtful. But no, this is emotional focus disguised as friendliness. Because when someone feels something deeper, their brain doesn't treat you like background noise. It treats you like home. So when they recall the smallest details, the ones even you forgot, Understand this. It's not memory. It's emotion, replaying itself through attention. It's their quiet way of saying, I notice you, I think about you, you matter to me, more than I can admit. And in that moment, whether you realize it or not, you've already become more than a friend. You've become someone they can't stop paying attention to. They act normal, but their energy feels different. They act normal, but their energy feels different. They haven't said a word about how they feel. They still joke the same way, text you like they always have, and hang out like nothing's changed. But something has. You can't quite point to it. It's not in what they do, it's in how it feels. Their presence feels warmer, heavier, charged. It's like the space between you has a pulse now, a quiet, invisible rhythm that only the two of you can feel. They say the same things, but their tone is softer, slower, like they're speaking through a layer of emotion. Their eyes linger on yours, not long enough to make it obvious, but long enough for you to notice. Their laugh comes easier when it's you. And when you talk, they listen with an intensity that feels different, like your words mean more to them than they should. Psychology calls this emotional leakage, when feelings start to escape through behavior without the person even realizing it. It's what happens when desire grows too big to hide behind friendship. You'll see it in the tiny things, in the pauses that last a beat too long, in the way they start to mirror your gestures, how their posture shifts when you shift, how they laugh when you laugh, how their body subtly aligns with yours. And sometimes it's not about what they say at all. It's in the air between you, that unspoken tension that fills a room for no reason. It's the silence that suddenly feels loud. It's the moment you look at each other and both of you look away too quickly, as if you both felt something you weren't supposed to. They'll pretend nothing's different. They'll hide behind jokes, act casual, try to convince you and themselves that they're just being friendly. But energy never lies. Because when someone secretly wants you, their body starts speaking before their mind can stop it. Every look, every pause, every tiny shift becomes a silent confession. So, if you ever feel that strange change, that pull you can't explain but can't ignore, trust it. It's not your imagination. It's attraction wearing the mask of routine. It's their heart trying to whisper what their lips are too afraid to say. They create random excuses to be close. They'll never say it out loud, but their actions start whispering it for them. They'll sit right next to you, even when the whole couch, the whole room is empty. They'll lean in to show you something on their phone, even though they could have just handed it to you. They'll ask for help with something they clearly know how to do, a quick favor, a tiny thing, anything that gives them a reason to stay near you. And it always feels natural, almost too natural. That's not coincidence, that's psychology. When someone wants you but isn't ready to admit it, their subconscious starts creating reasons to stay close. Because closeness, even the innocent kind, is its own quiet language, a way to feel connection without ever needing to confess it. You'll notice how perfect their timing always seems. You're about to leave, and suddenly they need you for something. You're focused, and they just happen to show up, asking for company, a favor, or just a few minutes. You tell yourself it's nothing, but deep down you know it's something. What's really happening is called attachment seeking. It's the brain's way of chasing proximity, the safety of being near someone who makes it feel calm, seen, alive. Even if they can't have you fully, being around you is enough to quiet the craving for a while, so they wrap their desire in logic. Oh, I just needed help with this. Oh, I was nearby anyway. Oh, I didn't want to bother you. But if you pay attention, it's never random. It's a pattern, gentle, deliberate, disguised as coincidence. And every time they show up, every time they find an excuse to stand close, to touch your arm while laughing, to sit next to you when they could have sat anywhere else, their heart gets what it truly wanted, just a few more minutes with you. Because when someone secretly wants you, they don't need grand gestures or dramatic confessions. They'll simply find small, believable ways to orbit around your world again and again. It's not friendship anymore. It's their way of saying, I don't know how to tell you I want to be closer, so I'll just keep finding reasons to be near you. And that's how desire hides, not in words, but in proximity. 4. They joke about you two together, then watch your reaction. It always starts playfully. A smile, a laugh, a harmless comment that slips out like it means nothing. They'll say something like, imagine if we dated, that'd be chaos, and then laugh. Too fast, too light, as if to erase what they just said. But listen closely, because psychology says that kind of joke is never just a joke. It's called disguised disclosure, a safe way to reveal a dangerous truth. By wrapping their feelings in humor, they protect themselves from rejection. If you react the wrong way, they can hide behind laughter and say, relax, I was kidding. But if you smile, blush, or play along, that laugh turns softer, a quiet sigh of relief. Because deep down, that line wasn't about being funny. It was a confession disguised as comedy. Notice when they make those jokes. It's rarely in a crowd. It's when you're alone, when the lights are low, when the air feels still, moments that already carry a hint of tension. They drop the line, then their eyes search yours for just a heartbeat, long enough to ask the question their words can't. Then they look away, pretending it didn't matter. But their body tells the truth. The nervous smile, the quick swallow, the way their voice suddenly lowers when they say your name. That's not humor, that's hesitation. That's their heart testing the water, trying to find out if the thought of you and them makes you uncomfortable or curious. It's a quiet psychological gamble. They're shifting the boundary between friendship and desire, just a little, to see if you'll follow. Because if you laugh too loudly, they'll retreat, pretend it was all in fun. But if you smile back, if your eyes hold theirs for a moment too long, they'll know you felt it too. And from that moment on, every funny comment about the two of you together stops being humor and starts being hope. Hope that maybe you'll see what they see. Hope that one day they won't have to hide behind jokes to tell you the truth. Because sometimes a joke isn't about making you laugh. It's about seeing if it's finally safe to be honest. 5. They get quiet when you talk about someone else. Watch closely, because it's not always about what they say. Sometimes it's about what they stop saying. You mention someone new, someone you find interesting, funny, attractive. And at first, they nod, they smile, they even ask questions, pretending to be curious. But something subtle changes. The laughter fades. The rhythm of the conversation slows down. The warmth in their tone cools just slightly. And then, silence. That's not boredom. That's not disinterest. That's protective jealousy, the kind that doesn't make noise but makes everything feel heavier. Psychology says the human brain treats emotional closeness like territory. We guard the people who make us feel safe, even if we have no right to claim them. So when someone secretly wants you, even the idea of you liking someone else feels like a small betrayal, not enough to confront you, but just enough to sting. They won't show it. They won't argue or act upset. Instead, they'll shrink into themselves, just a little. Their responses get shorter. Their eyes wander when they should be listening. They laugh, but it sounds forced now. It's a quiet retreat, a way of stepping back before their feelings give them away. They're not angry at you. They're protecting themselves, because deep down, they know they have no claim, no label, no promise, no reason to feel this way, and yet they do. That's the paradox of hidden affection. It burns quietly, but it still burns. So they pull back carefully, masking the ache with polite smiles and neutral words. They'll pretend they're fine, pretend they don't care, pretend they're just happy for you. But if you listen closely, you can hear the difference in their silence. It's not peace, it's restraint. Their quiet says everything their voice can't. It says, I don't want to hear about someone else having the version of you I only get to imagine. And that kind of jealousy doesn't explode. It lingers. It hides behind calm eyes and steady voices. It lives in the pauses between sentences, in the smiles that come a second too late. It's soft, invisible, but painfully real. Because when someone secretly wants you, watch what happens when your attention shifts. That silence isn't emptiness. It's emotion, holding its breath. They touch you differently. It's never obvious. It's never rushed. It's subtle, but you feel it. They don't touch you like everyone else does. It's not random, and it's definitely not accidental. It's intentional. A pat on the shoulder becomes a soft graze that lingers. A playful nudge turns into a quiet moment where their hand stays just a second too long. A hug that once felt casual now feels slower, closer, heavier. And you notice it, even if you pretend not to. Their body language shifts around you. It slows down, becomes more aware. Every move feels measured, deliberate, like they're paying attention to the space between you. The distance that used to feel normal suddenly feels charged, alive. Their fingers might brush yours as they hand you something. Their knee might lightly bump against yours and stay there for a heartbeat too long. Little things, small, innocent, but they leave a trace, a warmth that lingers long after the moment passes. Psychology calls this non-verbal disclosure, when words stay quiet but touch tells the truth, because touch is the oldest language we have. It bypasses logic, it bypasses fear, it goes straight to emotion. Every touch releases oxytocin, the bonding chemical. It's the same hormone that makes us feel trust, comfort, and that addictive kind of closeness you can't explain. So when someone starts touching you differently, it's not just physical contact, it's communication, their body saying what their heart can't risk putting into words. Pay attention to what happens next. They might look away too quickly or smile nervously to hide what just happened. They might laugh it off or make a small joke to fill the silence. But in that brief moment, their body already confessed, and their mind is trying to catch up. And if it keeps happening, if the hugs last longer, the touches linger, and the air feels thicker each time, understand this. That's not friendship anymore. That's attraction, testing its limits. Because the body knows what the heart is afraid to admit. And sometimes it speaks first. That gentle brush of skin, that 1-second pause, that unspoken electricity. Those are all the body's way of whispering, I want to be closer to you. And once you feel it, no amount of logic can unfeel it. 7. They imagine futures that involve you. Listen closely when they talk about the future, because if you pay attention, you'll notice something subtle. You're always there. They'll say things like, when we're older, we'll still be best friends. Or, you'd totally be the godparent to my kids. Or maybe, one day, we should travel together. Just us. It sounds innocent, harmless, almost sweet. But psychology calls this emotional anchoring, when someone's mind begins quietly building you into their future without even realizing they're doing it. They're not just daydreaming about a life ahead, they're daydreaming about a life with you in it. Every story they tell about someday, every plan that starts with "we should," every dream they share when the night feels soft and open, you're written into it like a constant. You're no longer just someone they know, you're someone their heart has started planning around. Friends usually think in moments, the next coffee, the next joke, the next weekend hangout. But people who secretly want you, they think in timelines, they speak in futures. Their mind starts connecting dots that haven't even happened yet, trying to keep you beside them in every version of tomorrow. Because when emotions deepen, the brain becomes protective. It fears distance, uncertainty, loss. So it does what the heart can't say out loud. It keeps you close through imagination. It builds a version of life where you never drift away. You may not realize it, but those little what-if scenarios are not small talk. They're emotional rehearsal. They're subconscious trying to test how it feels to have you in there forever, even if it's only in theory for now. And when that happens, friendship changes shape. It stops being about shared memories and starts becoming a shared story that hasn't happened yet. Because when someone secretly wants you, they don't just see who you are now, they see who you could be together. It's not a fantasy anymore. It's a quiet wish, disguised as a casual conversation about the future. And that's the moment friendship stops being just the present and becomes a future they've already started living in their mind. Here's the truth. People rarely confess what their heart feels first. It doesn't begin with words. It begins with moments. Small, ordinary moments that suddenly feel heavy with meaning. It leaks out through attention, in the way they listen to you when everyone else is distracted, through energy, in how the air feels different when it's just the two of you, through touch, those accidental brushes that don't feel accidental at all, and through silence, the kind that doesn't feel empty but full of something neither of you can quite name yet. Every glance, every memory they hold onto, every small shift in their voice when they talk to you, those aren't random. They're emotions trying to speak before courage can find the words. And if you feel it too, don't ignore it. That connection didn't appear by accident. It's not confusion, it's recognition. It's your emotions recognizing themselves in someone else's heart. You just have to decide, are they your friend or your almost lover, pretending not to be? If this opened your eyes, comment, "I felt that" below. And don't forget to hit subscribe, because next time we're decoding the signs you give away without even realizing it.